Okay, class, good morning. So, I am your instructor for criminal law 1, no? Um, Before anything else, I just would like to establish some rules, no? I will upload lecture videos for all the 22 or 21 modules. And then I'll upload it 3 videos a day siguro for the entire week, okay? And then once I finish uploading all the 21 modules, lecture videos on the 21 modules, then we will have class recitations. Okay? Once I finish discussing everything, then I will have graded oral recitations. And the graded oral recitation will form part of your final grade. Okay? So for this week, for the entire week, I'll upload lecture videos on the our course, no, for the entire course syllabus, because I don't think it is feasible for me to discuss to conduct classes based on our regular class schedules, because I am also working, no, I have a full-time work as the municipal vice mayor of Mambahaw, and then I also have a law firm here. So it's very difficult for me to meet you on your scheduled hour. But once I finish everything, then we will set schedule for our recitations. I'm also made aware that some of the students are also working. Okay, so it means that there is also a difficulty for your class, no, to meet me during our scheduled hours, which is okay. So for me, since this is a distant learning course, we can create a system whereby all of you will meet me and we will have our graded recitations. Okay, so other than the graded recitations, we will also have activities, okay, that I will post every after maybe every after lectures, or depending on my assessment, whether there is a need for me to have a separate activity other than your modules. Okay, I will speak in English as well as in Tagalog, because I have students from Orolio University, and I'm sure they cannot understand us if we speak in our vernacular or in Visayan. Okay, so I have no other choice but to speak in English, and if there is a need for me to emphasize and I need to explain it in Tagalog. But I am not fluent in Tagalog, so you need to forgive me if I'm not that good in speaking the Filipino language. Okay. Uh, other okay. I have not checked your modules, but if your modules were submitted late, then there is a corresponding point deduction to that. Because I gave you 1 week, no, I have not conducted any classes for the entire week last week, just to make sure that you finish your modules. Okay, for whatever reason that you have not finished your modules, there will be a corresponding deduction to that, because we are all adults here. We are all adults and we know our responsibilities. If you are working, then you need to work overtime. If you have other important activities or other important commitments, then you need to cope up. You need, I don't know, you have 24 hours a day. I think you can finish one module at least siguro 5 modules in one day. So the 1 week grace period is quite generous on my part. Okay, so I want you to finish, or I want you to listen intently to my discussions, because all the recitations will be based on my discussions, and my discussion is based on the teacher guide that FINMA College, or the FINMA College, what do you call FINMA? The corporation, okay, or the FINMA schools, gave to each and every teachers. So my topics will be based on the curriculum and the course syllabus given to me. Okay, but I will highlight more on the things that you students needs to understand, especially for the upcoming board exam. You are in your third year. Next year will be you will be graduating already. So you need to learn these things because I cannot, as you know, that criminal law 1 and 2 is part of your board courses, okay, or board subjects. No, so it's very vital for you to understand, especially based on my experience on my last based on last semester's experience. No, the students have difficulty understanding the concept on criminal law 2 because they have not understood the concept in criminal law 1. Okay, the concept on criminal law 1 is very important in criminal law 2. Criminal law 2 is very easy, it's more on memory. Okay, there is no other things that needs to be discussed there, but you just need to know the elements. And I am shocked, I am shocked that there are students who does not even know that what are the elements of the crime. I mean, they have not understood the concept of elements of a crime, and it's quite frustrating. Okay, so I want you to intently listen to my discussions, and since this will be uploaded in my YouTube channel, because we don't Google Meet does not allow us to record our videos anymore, unlike in my first semester in teaching distant learning, whereby I just recorded my lecture, and then the one that was being recorded will be sent to the students via a link. Here, the current platform of Google Meet, there is no portion there that we are allowed to record anymore. So I am forced to upload it in my YouTube channel for my students to access. Okay, so you have the time to access it repeatedly. If there are things that you cannot understand, so you can just replay it, or maybe there are things that I might be fast in discussing, so you have the liberty to replay it. So that is the beauty of having a recorded lecture, because the student has the opportunity to play it again, unlike in an actual lecture that the teacher only has will only have a one session, and that's it. You cannot replay what your teachers were saying during that lecture. Okay, so too much for the introduction. Let's go to our lesson number 1, which is what is criminal law. It is really more on definition. Okay, so like in any other subject, we need to understand first the course. What is criminal law? Okay, criminal law is a branch of law. Okay, this because we have civil law, we have commercial law, we have taxation, we have labor laws. Then criminal law is a branch or a division of law. It is a group. It is a separate division or branch of law which deals with the definition of crimes. Okay, as I explained earlier, criminal law 2 discussed about the different crimes punishable under the revised penal code. Okay, so that's criminal law 2, definition of crimes. Then treats the nature of the crime. So it's still in criminal law 2. So what is the nature of the crime? Is it a crime against chastity? Is it a crime against public policy? It is a crime of public order? Is it a crime against national security? So that is the nature of a crime. So those are the definition and the nature of the crime will be discussed in your criminal law 2. Then provides for punishment. Okay, punishment will also be discussed in criminal law 2, but we will have an introductory portion in criminal law 1. Okay, the different kinds of punishments and the durations of the punishment, the prisión correccional, prisión mayor, okay, the Latin terms. A little bit of trivia, no? If you observe that there are numerous Latin terms used in the revised penal code, because our revised penal code is based on the Código Penal of the Spanish code, no, or the Spanish of Spain, no, because we were colonized by Spain, so most of our criminal laws, no, were influenced, or the revised penal code, or the crimes under the revised penal code were influenced under the Código Penal of Spain. So that's the reason why we use the term prisión mayor, prisión correccional, reclusión perpetua. Those are Spanish terms. Okay. Now, there are also other important terms that we need to understand and remember. Okay, maybe this will come out in your board exam, no, in the multiple choice. The term crime, felony, and offense. Okay, crime, felony, and offense. When we say crime, it is the general term. Okay, the general what do you call that? Yeah, the general term, the mother umbrella. Okay, munang ginatawag, that's what we call the mother term or the mother umbrella, the the generic term, okay, the generic term of any violation of public law. Okay, any violation of the established laws, rules, and regulation is considered crime. And then in that crime, we have two other terms. We have felony and offense. Okay, felony, if you committed crimes, or if you committed or omitted acts that are violative of any established rules, law, and that law refers to the revised penal code, then that is considered felony. In other terms, if you committed the crimes as defined under the revised penal code, you committed technically a felony. Okay, you are a felon. Meaning, if you committed a crime of rape and it is punished under the revised penal code, then that is felony. Robbery under revised penal code, felony. The other term that you need to understand is offense. Offense is punishable by the special laws. What do you mean by special laws, attorney? Have you heard of Republic Act number blank, Republic Act 7610, the child abuse law, no? So if you committed sexual misconduct which are punished under RA 7610, then the act or the crime that you committed is technically called an offense. Okay, to make it short, if the crimes are committed and punished under the revised penal code, that is felony. If the crimes that are committed are punished under a special law, such as Republic Act 7610, Republic Act that punishes voyeurism, Republic Act that punishes the use of what do you call that, cigarettes or vape. Okay, I think we have a law on that, or the law that punishes any Republic Acts, no, other than the revised penal code, that is offense. That is termed as an offense. Okay, now three branches of, or what are the inherent powers of the state? There are three inherent powers of the state. It is part of your study guide. I don't know why it is included, but maybe let's focus on the police power. Okay, it is the power of the state, the government, no, to enact laws. Okay, this is where the power of the government springs from. The power of the government to enact laws, to punish acts that are harmful to the society as a whole, that is under police power. Meaning, the power of the Congress, okay, the power of the Congress to establish or to create and act laws to protect the society is covered under police power. Okay? For example, Congress will pass a law that punishes any person from um, from cutting trees, no, that are considered endangered. Okay, so there is a law that punishes a person from cutting trees that are endangered. The basis of that power, okay, of enacting a law is the police power of the state to protect the community, no, because it is harmful to the environment to kill these trees. And if the environment will be harmed, the people of that society will also be harmed. So that's the reason why the state will enact laws to protect its constituents, okay, or its constituencies. Okay, so that's police power. The other inherent power, not so much of importance, power of taxation, so the taxing power of the state, and the power of eminent domain. Power of eminent domain, it is the right or the power of the state to condemn or to use, no, to use in any property for just compensation. Okay, with payment of just compensation. Like, for example, yung gusto nyong kunin na kung gustong kunin ng gobyerno ang isang lupa para gawing hospital, then they need to pay the owner of that land an amount which is considered just compensation for them to use it. It means to say, you cannot say, no, I will not sell it to the government. No, I will not allow the government to use my property because I want that property for my own benefit. If the state wants that property to be taken for public purposes, then that person has no other remedy but to ask the court for payment of just compensation. Okay? Okay. Now, the branches of the government. So, these are just introductory parts, no? We have three branches: the legislative, executive, and judicial. For the purposes of criminal law, no, these three branches has their specific functions. When we say legislative branch, the Congress, which comprises of the House of Representatives and the Senate, okay, their purpose or their function is to create or enact laws, okay, the Republic Act, the Republic Act that punishes several crimes. Okay, those are the acts of Congress or the legislative branch. The judicial branch, on the other hand, has two functions. First is as to criminal law. Okay, I'm just talking on their function as in relation to our topic, which is the criminal law. Okay, for legislative, again, it is the enactment of laws. Okay, legislative branch. The judicial branch, two functions. First is the interpretation, the correct interpretation of the laws. Okay, the laws that were passed by Congress will be interpreted by the judicial branch. Okay, and then the judicial branch, through its judges, will be the one who will preside, okay, the judicial proceeding, the trial, okay, from the time that the criminal case is initiated in the court until it is being until the promulgation, okay, that is judicial functions. Okay, even the appeals is judicial functions. And the last branch of the government is the legislative or the executive branch. Executive branch covers in relation to criminal law the proceedings before the prosecutor's office. Okay, in your criminal procedure, you know that every cases, no, will be initiated by the prosecutor after the conduct of a preliminary investigation or an inquest proceeding. Okay, in prosecutor's office, we have what we call preliminary investigation and inquest proceedings. These are executive functions, okay? Because the office of the prosecutor, provincial or city prosecutors, are under the Department of Justice, which is an executive branch, okay? And then we also have what we call pardon, executive pardons and clemency. So we will also discuss that later on in our this topic under criminal law 1, or I think it's in criminal law 2. I'm not sure, but executive pardon, clemency will be discussed under criminal law subjects. Okay? So I just need you to know the functions of the three branches of government in relation to criminal law. Okay, we also have the theories in criminal law. I will not read the definition, okay? You know, I will not read the definitions that are provided in your modules because you already have the modules for that, okay? So, what I will do is just to explain the concept, okay? Now, theories in criminal law. What are the theories under criminal law? We have three: classical theories, positivist theories, classical theory, positivist theory, and the eclectic or the mixed theory. Okay, what do we mean when we say classical theory? Okay, the crimes, no, the criminal liability or the crimes are a product, or the criminal liability is a product of what we call human free will. You committed a crime because, okay, because it is your choice, it is your conscious choice to create to commit such crime. For example, if you kill somebody, under the classical theory, you kill that person because you chose to kill that person, okay? And because you chose to kill that person, and because the crime you committed is based on human free will, then the penalty, the purpose of the penalty is for retribution, okay? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, okay? Yun yung tinatawag natin na you are punished because you committed something that is not acceptable by the society. You are punished because you committed wrong, because you chose to commit that wrong. That is under the classical theory. Okay? Under the positivist theory, the person who committed the crime is a product, okay, of several phenomena of the nature, of the environment, of the situation that he was in, okay, he or she was into, okay, meaning he or she became a criminal because of the circumstances that affects his or her judgment. Okay, for example, a person killed, a person who is a murderer, okay, is a person who is a murderer became a murderer because he or she was raised by a parent who are also murderers, okay? The environment where he or she lives, very rampant the crime of murder, okay? There is a very rampant killing that also affect his or her psyche, her psychological and mental state, no? For example, if you live, these are common stereotypes, no, under this positivist theory. For example, you grow in an environment that you know, killing is like a normal part of life, then there is a tendency that you become a murderer, and then because of that, the penalty is really more on restorative justice, meaning you are penalized to be cured Okay, you are penalized to be cured of the effects of those natural phenomenon that affects your criminal mind. Okay, to put it simply, classical theory is the classical theory is and classical versus positivist theory is like nature versus nurture. Okay, similar. Um, okay, when we say nature, you are you committed crimes because you chose to commit the crimes, because that is your nature. Okay, you have free will to do or not to do it, and you chose to do it. So that is nature, that is your inherent natural characteristics to be a criminal. When we say nurture, no, you became a criminal because of the societal, environmental, and other natural phenomenon that affects your growth and development as a person. Okay, so that is the classical and positivist theory. And the eclectic or the mixed theory is the combination of the classic and the positivist theory. So that's all. Okay. Okay. Now that ends our module 1. Okay? So I will up I hope no you understand the concept. To recap, no, you need to understand the definition of criminal law, what is a crime, what is a felony, what is an offense, and then the three branches of the state, the legislative, what are the functions of legislative branches as to in relation to criminal law, the judicial and the executive branches of the government. We also have the three inherent powers of the government, and the basis of the creation or in the enactment of the criminal laws is the police power. Then we also have the other two inherent powers of the state, power of eminent domain and power of taxation. And then the theories affecting criminal law, we have classical, positivist, and eclectic or mixed theory. So that would be all, class, for module 1.